Hey everybody, welcome back to the Right Amount of Rant podcast. I am your host, Rival, and I am joined once again by my good friend Hack My Computer. Say hi, Hack.
Hey everybody.
So we had another bit of a Julian emergency. That emergency essentially pertains to no jokes on this one. Julian's mom has had a bit of a heat stroke. He's off taking care of her, so Hack has delightfully agreed to step in once again. Mm-hmm. And
this time I won't sound like I'm in a well.
Because he's actually in person. He actually showed up and I had to rearrange all of my setup to accommodate. Whatever, I'm not better. Whatever.
He's wearing pants this recording.
Yeah, I'm kind of bitter about that, though. All right, we're going to jump right in. We've got a lot to say this week. One of the biggest topics to come out for YouTube in a very long time, we're going to be talking about COPPA, as well as just some stuff that's been irritating me lately, some dumb stuff. But we're going to start off with the big one. We're going to talk about COPPA. Now, for those of you unaware, YouTube has been going through kind of a upheaval this last week and a half or so over the Child Online Privacy Protection Act that essentially that is what COPPA is. Now, this act, this whole child protection thing, the point of it is to prevent people from monitoring and capturing the online data of children. In other words, where do they go? What websites do they look at?
Actually, it's children is the term they use, and they define children as 13 and under.
Yeah, under 13 specifically.
Minors is 18. So,
okay.
A little bit different.
Okay, not minors specifically. We're not talking about people with hard hats and pickaxes. We're talking about people under the age of 13. Right. So they're trying to be like, okay, these kids are impressionable. We don't want them being preyed upon by people who are going to sell them horrible merchandise and like just influence them in horrible ways, because sometimes kids can't tell the difference between an ad and a video. Sometimes they don't know, like how some of those like toy unboxing videos can look suspiciously like ads. So yeah, I understand the premise of it. Now, here's the thing that has a lot of people, YouTubers and myself especially, not to rule out any other YouTubers, but anybody who regularly uploads and kind of wants to make it more than a hobby. The big issue comes down to this, is that COPPA was introduced in 1998. It has slowly gained steam because very early days of the internet. That was like dial-up was still president.
Yeah, dial-up was like predominant.
Yes, actually. I don't even think DSL was a thing that existed.
No, DSL existed.
It may have existed, but it was
very
not
expensive.
Very expensive. It's not something you saw very often.
Right.
And so what we're looking at is they use a lot of, and I hate to be the fuddy-duddy that says things like outdated, but the terms they use are outdated. If you play video games, that's considered a kid's medium. If you have anything on your channel to do with cartoons,
cartoon characters,
or cartoon characters, sound effects, cartoony sound effects have been included in that list. Yeah. You're at risk of being deemed a child's, like you're attempting to push your material toward children. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The bad thing comes when YouTube has essentially come to us and they've said, all right, you need to mark your videos as either being for kids or not for kids. Now, here's the thing. If your video is for kids, then first of all, a lot of you're not going to be able to do any more targeted ads. You're no longer, okay, well, I have a lot of the person watching this is clearly like 6. So we're going to market them with Legos and other very young age stuff. I'm getting a horrible stare from somebody who regularly collects Legos. Calm down. It was just a thing that popped in my head. Barbie dolls, action figures, what have you. Truck toys.
Oddly enough,
Tonka trucks.
All of those things also collected by adults. It's weird.
We're not going to go into that. So they're going to say, okay, well, we don't know if this is a child anymore because we're not allowed to collect the data. Well, not only that, because you're not allowed to do targeted ads, which means you're going to get significantly less revenue. Mm-hmm. Like we're talking, according to some predictions, anywhere between 80 and 90% less revenue for those ads. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. No, if you imagine all of a sudden one day you just get told, you're getting a significant pay cut. You're losing 3/4 of your pay minimum.
Yeah, if you
would
started
be in an absolute panic.
Yes.
You would be frustrated at why. You'd be frustrated, what am I going to do? And then what are your options? But at the same time, you don't really know because the medium that hosts your videos is being coy and hiding out in the background going, we're not involved in this, even though they're the ones that caused it.
Yes. And here's the big thing is that there's lots of people that play video games or have cartoon characters as memes or something on their channel or use sound effects. Now, Are those people pandering to children? Or is their main audience intended to be children? No, probably not.
Probably not.
There's a lot of YouTubers that I watch on the regular who I know are not going for kids.
Oh, yeah.
People like H2O Delirious. You've got Ohm Wrecker. You've got cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
You've got...
Those are clearly not kid-friendly.
They cuss on a regular basis.
Exactly.
They play games. They make sexual jokes and stuff. But they're still playing bright, colorful video games.
Well, I mean, honestly, most video games are bright and colorful.
Yeah, because people like bright and colorful.
Huge problem.
But I mean, like, they often do stuff in Minecraft, which is a kid's game, quote unquote. But do you know how many people love playing that even at like 35 and older?
Actually, my boss is 10 years older than me, and he will go home at the end of the night and just play around in Minecraft for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's universally enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's entirely based on your creativity.
Exactly.
Kids are really creative, and adults can find a creative outlet by doing so instead of the crushing defeat of everyday life. So it's kind of a weird situation where these rules were written over 20 years ago.
Actually, 21.
So these rules are, again, outdated, and now we're having...
Archaic would be a great... Yeah,
I'm going to go with... I'm sticking with outdated because I don't want to seem like I'm dramatic. So we have these things that are being judged. If you have colorful, bright, just thumbnails, guess what? That could be deemed as targeted toward children.
Oof.
No, everybody wants bright, colorful thumbnails because that's what gets people's attention.
Yeah,
it's just
want
like
attention grabbing, not necessarily are you farming for children's... to draw kids.
Now, there are other channels, things like Game Theory or whatnot. Not a channel that I watch on the regular, but I know what it's about.
Yeah.
It poses theories on video games, like what if this?
And movies.
Games, film theory, that's a different thing. But here's the thing, they post things like quantum physics, like could Pokemon actually exist? They go into, for lack of a better phrase, they stretch science a little bit and kind of come up with, would it even be possible?
But it's also higher level science than what you would think of a kid following.
Significantly higher.
Right. But you're using a children's, cartoon and card game that's played also by adults as the basis of, that could get a strike. That could get a COPPA strike because it involves Pokemon, but he's referencing a high-level college physics that you can tell if you paid any attention to it, that it's not children-related, but still with this algorithm and the bot that they're talking about, that could cause a problem because what does the bot cover? Is it tags? Is it title? Is it the thumbnail? It can't possibly be content. The bot's not going to crawl through your entire video and actually realize what it's about. The bot is going to take what your content is at face value. Oh, and it's a bot
100%.
By programmers, and programmers are freaking lazy.
That's a broad statement, but I understand. So even if these bots are sophisticated, they're still going to be fallible. Yeah. Well, just like a human would be.
Exactly.
If a human's having a bad day, and we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit. Here's why this is important. If you mark your channel as being for kids, 80 to 90% of your revenue is gone like that.
No more channel recommendations.
No more channel recommendations because remember, they're not collecting the data on the person watching it, so they can't recommend anything else to them.
Yeah.
And they don't show up in any feeds.
Exactly.
Meaning you have to search specifically for that video in order to find it.
Or have a web link.
Or have web links.
Yeah.
Which is just like a directed search. But whatever. Here's the point. Okay. If you do mark it as being for kids, you're basically screwed monetarily. Your channel will die in the waters.
Oh, yeah. It's going to wither and die quickly. It's going to live in that walled garden. It's not going to see any sun, and it's just going to just shrivel in.
Now, here's the other option. There's actually two other options, whether or not people understand it. The other option that you can choose instead of for kids is not for kids.
Correct.
Okay. That would be something like me. I play games. I occasionally cuss. I make jokes that are less than appropriate for children. Okay. But my audience isn't meant for that.
You're not pulling in, 8 and 9-year-olds listening to the right amount of Rant podcast or the Rival Phoenix Gaming, channel. You're playing Mario Maker or you're playing, Left 4 Dead or
World of War or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
It's not marketed towards kids.
No, it's not. The demographic that I'm attempting to shoot for, and I'll tell everybody this now, I'm trying to shoot for roughly 25 to 45. We're talking young adults to middle-aged adults who might have children. My entire focus is to cuss as little as possible so that these parents who enjoy video games can watch these videos around their children without feeling like they have to censor what they're watching and I can continue to get views without them worrying about the content their kids may hear while their kids are playing whatever, and basically not paying attention.
That's a good plan.
That's what my goal is. But now, because of the third option, they're essentially that everybody's actually worried about is this. If you mark your channel as being not for kids, but these bots or these people go through and they decide that this video or that video or the entire bloody channel is actually for kids, and you were disingenuous or in error in the way that you reported it. If they basically decide that no, it actually is for kids, and you said it wasn't for kids, which means you're marketing towards kids and you're trying to collect their data and like profit off of children.
The big old
you get screwed. You get up to $42,000 in a fine per video up to your last 600 videos.
Oh, I didn't realize it was up to
the last 600 videos.
Holy crap. So
if you upload,
you could bankrupt somebody.
If you uploaded a video every single day of the week, that's nearly 2 years worth of videos.
Oh God.
Yes.
That's going to snowball fast. You're talking, if it's a large channel with that kind of content, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
I'm going to calculate it right now. Maximum fine.
42 grand.
42 grand times 600 possible videos. That's $25,200,000.
All right.
Now,
so I was
is it likely that anyone will ever actually get fined that much?
I don't know. They slapped YouTube with $170 million fine for this.
Well,
God only knows.
We're actually getting to that point as well, because we have to realize, why is all this changing all of a sudden? If COPPA was made 20 years ago, what's with the sudden 21 year later detonation of this bomb? Well, here's the little funny thing about that. YouTube, in all their wisdom, even though they were technically compliant.
Yes.
Technically compliant being very important. With YouTube Kids. But remember, with YouTube, in order to have a YouTube account, you had to be how old?
13.
13 or older. Well, you had to.
16, 13 with parental permission.
Whatever it was.
Yes.
In order to do it, even if you're 12 with parental permission, no. But like, what kid hasn't been like, oh, hey, I can put this slider a couple years older than I am.
Exactly.
I just need to figure out. Anyway, that aside, even if they're only collecting on legitimate 13 and older, that would mean that they were technically in compliance with COPPA, which means 13 or less than 13. Okay, 13 and older, you're in the clear. 12 and younger, bam, that's the problem. But here's the problem, is that apparently YouTube, who should have won this lawsuit against them for like Child Privacy Act and whatnot, they should have won it outright.
Yes,
because they had proof and data.
They had been compliant.
Except they went around for the last several years bragging about how YouTube was the #1 site for kids between the ages of 2 and 12.
Yep.
It was the most popular, to advertisers and stuff. They were bragging about how popular they were with everyone that COPPA applies to.
Yes.
They intentionally shot themselves. Well, they didn't intentionally. They shot themselves in the foot. And literally, you know what? The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, they have been subtly and slowly amassing every single example that YouTube has ever said about kids, and basically they're keeping track of kids' data. How in the hell can you possibly know that you're the biggest site for kids between 2 and 12 if you're not collecting that data?
Exactly.
Unless you're making wild assumptions.
Yeah, that doesn't exactly sound like a generalization that they would have used for advertisers, because apparently this is all communications with advertisers is where this, we have the biggest viewership for, this age group, and all of the age groups they referenced were in that kid spectrum, whether it was 8 to 12, 8 to 13, 6 to 12. One of them was 2 to 12. So they knew kids were crawling all over their YouTube site instead of the YouTube Kids, which was supposed to be the safe haven. And the FTC found out, and that's what got them into the hot water.
And that's and what Hat just mentioned a little while ago was essentially the FTC brought up a lawsuit against YouTube for violation of COPPA, which if you didn't know, if you didn't hear it, they lost the lawsuit because of those statements to advertisers about, the 12 to the 12, year old people, how popular they are. They lost $170 million, which to them and Google, drop in the bucket. Don't get me wrong.
That's still
they noticed.
Yeah.
They noticed, but it wasn't like break the bank.
Oh, God, no. God, no. But so $170 million is still enough to make them go, okay, that's a little bit of money. That's a little bit of money. In the grand scheme of things, that's still the largest fine they've ever handed out for COPPA.
Oh, yeah. I think it's
by a magnitude of, at least 3. Last one I heard of, I think was...
I thought it was 5 times the most, but whatever.
I think I heard 40 million.
Oh, I thought it was 33 before. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. So YouTube rolled. YouTube is paying the fine, and they're claiming rather than they take responsibility. Now, remember, I want to refresh everybody's memory real quick. Remember, what is COPPA about? Or not COPPA. COPPA. Not COPPA. COPPA is about being a douche. COPPA is about not collecting children's data.
Yep.
It's about protecting their online privacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the entire point of it.
Yep.
What content creator is going to collect, and we're talking YouTube specifically.
Yeah.
What content creator is going to be able to collect that data if YouTube doesn't provide that data?
I hadn't thought about it that way.
Now here's the thing. There's been a lot of people. Jake Paul is a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Seems like a douche. He's a drama queen.
Exactly.
So here's where I'm at. He has come out and said that his main demographic is usually very young. We're talking between the ages of 6 and 9, just so that we're all on an equal intellectual field here. So how does he know his main demographic is between the ages of 6 and 9?
I'm going to venture a guess it has something to do with his merchandise.
Probably. Now, if he's marketing toward kids specifically, in other words, targeted ads.
Wouldn't that put him in violation of...
That would put him in violation of COPPA.
Direct
Holy
violation.
crap. Now, here's the thing. That's one example of someone who's stepping out and doing that. But I still ask again, how did he get that data? Either YouTube provided him that data somehow because they're making money off of him as well.
Well, he is one of the upper echelons, so maybe they provided that data to them.
Or he got someone outside to analyze the, analytics and stuff on the channel and to dictate, whatnot. That's possible.
It is possible. Yep.
But if he paid someone to do that, that's still collecting children's data.
Exactly.
That's collecting and analyzing to use later for advertisement. So, yes, Jake Paul is, in my opinion, definitely guilty of breaking COPPA law.
Yep.
But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm just a guy with a predetermined disposition against this asshole. So
same here.
Take it for what it is. So here's where I'm at. Most people don't do that. No. YouTube definitely did that. Directly.
Most people,
and then had the balls to brag about it.
Most people indirectly, possibly, if they have merch. The people that have merch, they're at somehow you have to be able to collect data of who's ordering your stuff. That's data collection at its purest form. So
see, here's the thing. I disagree with that to a certain extent because I don't have data. I don't have merch. And if I had merch, the only thing I'm going to collect on you at all is going to be temporary.
Exactly.
I'm going to get data so that I can process your payment. Once that payment's done, I'm shredding that information. I don't need it. And
exactly.
For the safety of both of us, I don't need to keep that. And then I'm going to send the merchandise to the address that you've specified. And once that's gone, I'm not going to keep that.
Exactly.
So it's one of those temporary use things. Now, I may be more moral in that regard. I may be better than some people that would otherwise use that stuff to their advantage. But I also don't have merch and I don't make a lot of money from YouTube. So, whatever. But here's the thing is that people like me, people like Cartoons who sells merch on another website. They're like hoodies and skateboards and stuff. There are people, he has sort of a grunge attitude to him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's who he is. He sells hoodies because he wears a lot of hoodies. That's not really a marketed toward kids thing.
No, God,
he sells skateboards.
His channel as a whole isn't marketed towards
Clearly
kids.
Not.
As opposed to...
Then again, Jake Paul's is, and he cusses worse than Cartoons does.
Directly
so
marketed towards kids.
My thing here is YouTube, as part of their settlement, agreed to force people on their website to start declaring whether or not the channel is for kids.
Right.
Okay, well, that's fine.
The channel and the content.
The channel, well, each video has to be marked, or you can just mark the entire channel as a whole, not for kids. So it comes down to this. I agree with that. I'm fine with that statement. But they also are telling the FTC, God bless. They're telling a government organization that government organization can now come in, analyze any single video they want. And if that video is marked as not for kids, and the FTC decides that it actually is,
then God help
no
you.
questions, no backsies. You get up to $42,000. I think it's supposed to be, don't quote me on this.
$42,000 fine.
$42,523 fine.
Yeah.
Something like that. That is calculated from inflation. I have no idea what the original amount was, but inflation and whatnot. So we're looking.
A day in court.
And a day in court.
Lawyer fees too.
Lawyer fees as well.
And
not to mention, for somebody who doesn't, and I'll be perfectly honest, I don't make $42,000 in a year. Not at my regular job, I don't make that.
Or me.
I'm doing better than I ever have, and I still don't make that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where that would ruin me.
Oh, yeah.
For a single video.
That would ruin a lot of people.
I have decided my demographic is not for children. I'm not pushing toward children. I'm not collecting data on children. Right. I don't want to do any of that.
You're not technically collecting data on anybody.
Hell no. I barely upload my videos on time. Who the hell am I collecting data on?
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where it's not. I'm scared to death.
This has become the YouTube boogeyman.
It kind of is, yes.
Yeah. Because the big bad FTC may just, freaking Kool-Aid man your door and slap you with a $42,000 fine because they decided that your
bright colors
had no intention of being marketed towards kids.
Oh, you mean you played a video and you didn't cuss? Must be for kids.
Exactly.
You played a video game, no cursing? Wow, must be for kids.
Exactly.
I went out of my way specifically many times to not cuss so that
you had a hell of a time at it too.
Yeah. So, and I'm speaking for people like Julian, who, was unable to make it here today, but is currently editing this. I don't know how to express my frustration and my fear and anxiety on this. My decisions come down to a couple of things. I can go through every single one of my videos, change the thumbnail, add specific markings to indicate this is definitely not for children. But here's the thing. If I market everything 18 plus, if I ever do get ad revenue and stuff, that significantly cuts down because they don't want.
Technically, you only have to market as 13 plus.
Well, you understand my meaning, though.
Yeah, I know.
But that's not just a lot of work. It shouldn't be necessary.
No.
But at the same time, I'm super fearful of being hit with a major fine. This is a hobby for me.
Yeah.
I'm not making any money off of this yet. This is a hobby.
I do the same thing. I got a small little YouTube channel where I upload random crap. I mean,
you upload mostly videos on trains.
Yeah. I love trains. It's literally videos of the trains. There's no commentary. There's no nothing.
Yes, it's just a video of a train.
Exactly. The only benefit I have is I'm not using flashy thumbnails on my videos. I'm literally using a picture of part of the train as it passes by from the video.
But, I mean, that doesn't exclude you from possibly being hit from this.
Kids love trains. Am I fucked? I have no idea.
Possibly.
I could be.
If they dictate that yours...
The bot, it's a bot. It's a bot. Who programmed the bot?
Well, no, they are going to actually have some humans as well.
Well, I mean, still, it's going to go through a human.
If someone comes up, there is a process by which if you mark yours as not for kids and the system comes through and says, yes, it is, you get a warning and you can appeal that warning.
Okay, but still.
And then a real human being decides whether or not that's actually for kids. Now, here's the thing. Who's to say that person's going by the correct standards? Who's to say that they're not disgruntled that day? Exactly. Who's to say that your name or voice doesn't piss them off? Who's to say that, no reasonable adult
like trains. Screw this person.
Yeah. No reasonable adult likes trains. No reasonable adult likes Legos, likes Minecraft, likes SpongeBob or anime or anything.
Exactly. It's subjective, and that's the problem.
Yes. Now, there are some things that we can almost universally declare for children. What was it, that Baby Shark song?
Oh, God.
I've never heard it.
Never heard it. Freaking lucky.
Is it luck, or have I intentionally sought out to slay the demon by ignoring it?
I've tried to ignore things before. That song was pervasive.
So that's where we are. My position on this is multifold. One of my options is to halt everything I'm doing on YouTube and just stop. That's one way to protect myself from a possible fine.
You could go to another platform when you, with Twitch. You could go from Twitch to Mixer. You had, different platform that was pretty similar. I honestly don't know of another platform.
There's no other like YouTube that's lasted.
Yeah.
There's been other platforms like YouTube, but they've all failed.
Yeah.
They've all failed.
Nothing.
That's actually a good point, though, is that with all of this coming up right now, I'd say within the next 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, right as COPPA hits, I would say if anybody can build a website for video sharing like this.
Well, here's the thing.
That would be a prime time to do it.
Going to be held to COPPA.
Yes, but they can put standards in place that exceed YouTube's grasp, and they can say if anything goes wrong, we will work to assist this.
Right, which is one thing that YouTube has just completely
they've completely shit on their creators time and time again.
They compiled they took all the content creators, they took them all together, put them in a line like a firing squad almost in front of the FTC,
and they threatened them,
and then they hid behind them.
Now the FTC chairman actually said this. He said, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. YouTube is the barrel and the content creators are the fish.
Which is a frightening statement.
That's incredibly frightening. And he says that the reason that they see it that way is because the content is there and it's easy to find. Okay. Now, I'm not worried about the ones that are definitely kids' channels.
Yeah.
And that's not just from a selfish perspective either. If it's a kid's channel.
Exactly. It's clearly, if you are a rational human being, you should be able to identify, this might be a kid's channel. This might not be a kid's channel.
But it's that it's that gray area
that is frightening as hell.
And the thing about YouTube is that they used to be, you need to be more family friendly because,
they pushed it.
The ads, we have to be able to push the ads. If you're cussing too much or if it's a violent game, nobody wants to advertise on that. Really? Do you think gamers who play the hell out of like Mortal Kombat, a game that never, ever gets advertising because they view it as being too violent and too gory.
Do you
mean to tell me that the same people that like to watch Mortal Kombat videos don't drink Mountain Dew?
They don't buy anything. Didn't you?
They don't buy anything?
Yeah, people who play violent video games, they don't buy anything.
Except for violent video games.
And
online, connections, internet.
Yeah.
Food, probably just the same them while they own noobs.
Yeah. New computer equipment, possibly televisions.
Yeah, they don't buy anything.
Homes.
But the point is,
furniture.
They were these quote not family friendly games and videos were deemed not advertiser friendly,
and so they were discouraged.
They were heavily discouraged and then just straight up demonetized.
Exactly.
You're not allowed to make money off this. Now they're doing a full stop 180 reversal. Now, if you're too family friendly,
they're coming at you.
They're coming at you and fining you potentially $42,000. But remember, everybody was being pushed into this narrow category of being family friendly, or we're just going to cut your stuff off.
Yeah, and now you're squeezed from one side because you're not advertiser friendly, and you're squeezed from the other side because you're in violation of a federal law.
You're not family friendly, so you're not making enough money. So you move to that point where you're making money, but now you're in risk of making too nice of a video
that's geared too much towards children.
You're marketing towards children.
So we're going to steal your money that you might make on up to your last 600 videos.
Yeah.
So you're shoving everybody into a gray little narrow channel of advertising friendly but not geared towards children that's defined by vague
the only channels that are going to be like completely untouched by this are the ones that are not trying to get any kind of advertisement, that are going holy crap over the top. They do what they want to do. They'll post all the Mortal Kombat videos and gory stuff video game wise that they're not going to make money off of. They just want to make the content. They just want to post that stuff.
They post it for the content.
They have absolutely nothing at risk here.
Yeah, well,
they're never going to be fined.
Right. That's not necessarily true. Because if there's anything in those people who they may not do advertising, don't they still technically have a video that may be geared towards kids on YouTube and qualify for COPPA? I don't even know.
Yes, maybe.
So I think YouTube as a whole is actually under this microscope that is coming down on us in, about a month and a half?
Let me put it this way. Several YouTubers were waiting on a different YouTuber, a guy named Matt Pat, to come out with his opinion. Matt Pat, even though I don't like watching his stuff, is usually pretty thorough in his research, especially when it comes to
he
important topics.
I actually have, I watch his videos on time to time, not constantly, but I do catch his videos when I can.
So when he came out with his video that essentially said, I don't know if we're screwed or not. Maybe. Like, he basically came out with, this could be a big nothing where they're going to be reasonable and they're only realistically going to target the ones that actually deserve to be targeted.
Yeah.
But there's also a good chance that all of your favorite videos are going to be gone beginning of next year.
Basically, yeah. Well, we watched the video together. So, I mean, I pretty much got the same gist you did.
Yeah.
So,
and when this man who does a lot of research held up copies of the files, held up copies of the law, the act, and everything, and basically said, after looking over all this, I don't know.
That's
frightening.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a frightening prospect. That is also, you shouldn't be in a gray, I'm not sure area when you have federal legislation coming into effect.
Yeah.
Against you. It should be black or white. If it's a legal thing, it needs to be black and white, not gray area of maybe. That maybe.
And that's what has everybody
so
frightened.
many people. Yeah.
Yeah, that gray maybe area is what has so many people frightened.
Yeah, that's what I said. It is the 21st century boogeyman that is bearing down on everyone right now.
And that's the thing. I'm going to reiterate this. I don't make any money from my channel. Julian doesn't make any money from his channel.
I don't make any money.
Hag doesn't make any money from his channel. But you're going to notice all of us are still afraid. We're still afraid. We want to keep putting up videos. I want to keep entertaining people. It's one of my passions in life. I have done online streaming. I have done YouTube. I'm now doing a podcast. It's a passion of mine to entertain. Now, whether or not you find me entertaining is an entirely different subject. The point is, I want to entertain people. I'm not making any money. If I suspect that my hobby is going to become suddenly illegal due to something outside of my control or a misunderstanding by some bot or other individual for whatever reason that is arbitrary, and once a human being rules on it, I have no other say, and I'm owing them $42,000 per video and legal fees, $42,000 per video that they deem that I targeted toward kids, even if I know for a fact I never did, and I have to pay legal fees in order to cover my ass in court.
Yeah.
I mean, that's frightening.
Life altering. That's life altering.
Yeah. And it may make me not do YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
Because the landscape may be too threatening. Now, remember back in the day when it was like, oh man, to be a YouTuber, that's so cool.
Right? Yeah.
And so many people try it. Few people succeed. But now if you're a YouTuber,
upper level. So
nowadays, if you're a YouTuber right now specifically, you're not cool anymore. You're like a liability in a lot of people's eyes.
At this stage, unfortunately, you're spot on.
The only guaranteed way I will never get hit with a fine from this COPPA stuff is if I go and delete everything on my channel. That's it. Literally the only way.
I still enjoy the caveat somebody posted of having a 15-second curse word diatribe at the beginning of every video. Just long string of loud.
See, I don't want to do that.
Oh, I know. I'm commenting on it at that.
Oh, no, it's a guaranteed way to get the bots off your ass.
Yeah. That guarantees you it ain't family friendly. It's ridiculous. That's a stupid solution. Effective, but stupid. So, nobody wants to do that. We want clear-cut levels or clear-cut ideas of what it is or isn't going to get us screwed.
Yeah.
I want concrete information, not vagaries. And unfortunately, the main host of our videos is taking a wonderful step back and ghosting everybody because they don't want to get drawn into it again. Because they're the ones that caused this. And now they have just left us to fend for ourselves.
Yeah.
And so...
Pretty much exactly.
Yay! So that's a great place to be. Happy New Year.
So I think we've said our minds on this. COPPA is not looking good.
No, not
for anyone who even casually puts up YouTube videos. And not to mention people that make their living off of it.
God, I would definitely classify me as the casual YouTube channel. Just random YouTube posts of trains that I happen to catch. I'm not actively hunting them.
Here's the thing. I'm going to include some links on the bottom of it. If you want to read some more about COPPA, please check the links down below. If you want to sign a petition or let the FTC know your personal opinions on the matter, check the links. check the links down below for us, please. If you do decide to leave a comment on your opinions for the FTC to read, please do it articulately. Please do it with thought. Please no rage comments.
Thought and purpose behind
Thought and purpose.
Yeah.
You can express grief and anger and
be creative when
displeasure.
you do it. Don't just, type in all caps just rant.
This is the suck source.
Yeah.
So you can express your displeasure in a thoughtful, intelligent way that they can consider as a mature response.
Exactly.
If you respond as a child, they're going to treat you as a child.
They're just gonna toss that comment and not even look at it.
Well, no, they'll take it in consideration. I guarantee they'll take it in consideration. I would, because I'm also a spiteful person. But then again, I'm fallible, which I'm sure people in the government are as well. So, all right, we're going to palate cleanse that one.
We definitely need a palate cleanser after this.
Once again, check down below for any of the links to the COPPA stuff. Check out there's petitions everywhere. All you got to do is search for them, but I will leave links to a couple of them down below. So please check that out if you're at all interested in trying to get some more information. I'm going to say this right now.
Voice your opinion against the matter.
Or for it. I'm not even going to say that. If you're for it for whatever reason, voice your opinion one way or another. Remember, your voice matters in this regard. But I do ask that please don't just take everything that we're saying at face value. Do your own research. Figure out the facts and what we're very likely to have left out some sort of detail that may completely change the opinion for you. So please check it out and down below in the links and whatnot in the description. And so we're going to go ahead and move on. That's my voice is hurting from getting so pissed. So here we go.
Palate cleanser time.
Palate cleanser with Florida Man. Florida man builds private gun range in his backyard. Neighbors worried they could get hit. No shit.
I wonder why.
Private gun range aimed directly at couple's house.
Yeah. Directly. Not, my next door neighbor built a gun range, and I'm worried that things might happen. No, apparently the backstop where the bullets impact is aimed at their house. Because genius planning. It's Florida Man, remember, people?
Florida Man. All right, in Weeki Wachee, Florida, a home under construction in a rural part of Hernando County has a unique addition to the backyard that has the people living directly behind it concerned for their safety. The homeowner is building a private gun range. The backstop ends just feet where the property line of another home in the, Weeki Wachee? Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Weeki Wachee.
Neighborhood begins. I think a sane person would not even remotely consider doing this, Misty Cintron said. Cintron and her husband, Jason, said they built a home in the rural county for their better life. A few weeks ago, they noticed a large clearing behind their house. The fact that he can shoot at me and I can't shoot at him is not equal protection. To be fair, if he shoots at me, you better believe your ass I'm shooting back.
Yeah.
The fact that there is not a clear distance, he is shooting military-grade weapons. Oh, first of all, I doubt that. I doubt that very much.
Yeah, I doubt
that are not accessible to the average person. First of all, you don't sound like a gun expert. Maybe you should just shut up and say, I don't think you should be shooting guns at people's houses. My local enforcement is not able to fully protect me, so they are violating my civil rights. I'm going to read that last line again. This is a quote. My local enforcement is not able to fully protect me, so they are violating my civil rights.
I would like to point out that journalism is slowly dying. Proofreading no longer exists.
My right, civil right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. First of all, I doubt it's military grade weapons that are not accessible to the average person.
She probably saw big, scary black guns. Regardless,
we're not even going to go into that. Yeah, no, I doubt it's that. It's probably a normal in quotes here. It's probably an average person can go off and buy this gun.
Yeah.
But it's probably a large gun. Yeah, probably has loud bang bangs.
It's probably a rifle.
Probably has loud bang bangs.
Yeah, I'm sure she saw a rifle. Now, should you be shooting rifles in a residential backyard?
Not without an intent to kill, no.
Hell no. Should you be shooting off pistols in a home-built range in a backyard in a residential area? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't build a gun range in your backyard, period.
And see, they're saying my local law enforcement is not able to fully protect me. I guarantee if you call the cops on this,
they're going to do something about it.
They're going to do something about it. Because you're not allowed to set this up. This is not a thing that's allowed to happen. Florida Man is clearly doing what Florida Man does.
Whatever the hell he wants.
Yes, legal or not, exactly. Florida Man is doing what Florida Man wants. So, ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluski spoke to the man constructing the home and gun range. We are not naming the homeowner because he's a private citizen and is not breaking the law. I'm sorry, what?
Wait, so he's not breaking the law. Does that mean it's not against codes and regulations in Florida?
First of all, they say we're not naming his name because he's a private citizen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you named Misty.
Well, she was interviewed and had to agree to let them use her name.
Well, that's fine. You can just say he did not agree for us to use their name. That would have been different. Whatever. He is also licensed with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives.
Okay, maybe,
as a okay, maybe she
maybe he did have the big guns. Maybe he had the big guns. If he's got ATF,
if he's part of the ATF,
if he's got ATF licenses, that means he's got the big boy guns. Okay,
if he's part of the ATF,
we were wrong.
No, hold on. If he's part of the ATF. And he's building a gun range behind his house.
No. It says he has ATF licenses.
Yes, I'm just misspoke.
Okay.
I misspoke. If he has a license from the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, he should know better than to build a freaking gun range behind his house.
He should know better. That statement is precluded by the fact that he lives in Florida. Florida man. Okay.
He allowed us onto his property to see the rough outline of the range up close. The berm, B-E-R-M?
Yeah, berm.
Okay, is roughly 20 feet high, and the builder says he is focusing on making the backstop even safer by building up an addition 25 feet or higher. By building up an addition. Proofreading! Oh my God!
Told you. Journalism. Dying
Safety is my top priority, he said over the phone. I'm not even close to being done yet.
I will say, if he's going to build, what I'm gathering, I can't.
He should be building a bunker. If this is the way he's going to shoot.
With the grammatical issues in this article, I can't tell if he's going to build it to 25 feet or if he's building it to 45 feet. But if I lived in a neighborhood and my neighbor was building a berm 45 feet tall in his backyard, I'd be a little pissed at that too, because that's going to be an eyesore.
4.5 stories tall.
That's technically 2.5, roughly. But
how tall is a story?
About 10 feet. 8-foot ceilings. I'm sorry. I know little
10
bits
foot.
of lots of things.
No. How many times does 10 go into 45?
No, I'm saying right now it's 2 stories.
No. If I say 45, you said 45, I'm going to 45.
Then 4 stories.
4.5 stories.
Roughly.
If a story is 10 feet, 5 feet would be half the story.
Okay, at 45, it's 4.5.
Do not question my math.
But that's an eyesore. That's an eyesore.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
Potential.
Now,
Timmy got his eyes shot out by the neighbor.
Obviously, he is going and trying to guarantee that no projectiles leave the range, but still, dude, military grade weapons, because you've got an ATF license, we now know that that's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
That's a lot of really loud bang bangs.
We gave Misty a lot of hell for that, I think.
Yeah,
Misty, we're sorry.
Misty,
you may have been more accurate than this crappy article said.
Yeah.
So weapons and firearms are regulated through Florida statutes, blah, 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 which contain certain preemptions from local regulations. Cindron said these laws only protect the gun owner and do nothing to protect her life and her property downrange. Any person who recreationally discharges a firearm outdoors, including target shooting, in an area that person knows or reasonably should know is primarily residential in nature and that has a residential density of 1 or more dwelling units per acre commits a misdemeanor of the first degree.
I mean, that's a pretty standard thing. You know, you don't discharge firearms in a residential neighborhood. It's illegal. Building a gun range means you're going to be discharging firearms frequently.
Oh. So yeah, Cintron's property is less than 1 acre, so she can't legally fire a weapon recreationally. Just on the other side of her property line, her neighbor's acreage is well within the legal requirement.
Okay. So he's got more than 1 acre, so he qualifies, which is why he decided to do it. Is there an option for
Misty said that the only way the homeowner would violate Florida state law is if any of the bullets fired crossed into her property or to any other residential zone. Said she does not doubt that she will have shrapnel or bullet fragments in her yard. The state is failing us.
She doesn't understand in retrospect how bullets work then, but okay.
Problem with this is that there is no regulation and guidance by the well, clearly there's regulations. He falls within the regulation of law.
Right.
It's just you're not happy with it because it's pointed at you.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be happy if I had a gun range.
Oh, hell no.
You know,
Oh, hell no.
But, you know,
Bless, this article is a lot longer than I freaking like.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's reiterate in this palate cleanser article that has gone into a really long tirade. Florida man built a gun range in his backyard because he's legally able to, and his neighbor got a little pissy over it. But
got a little. I don't care if it's within the law. I'd be arguing against that law at that point. That's me,
right. I'm not saying she's not justified because apparently the gun range where the bullets are going to impact is facing towards her house. It's gonna make me mad.
Little Jimmy's taking a nap. Oh shit!
Yeah, but it looks like
Mom, I got one in the shoulder again.
It does look like the guy that is building the range is actually taking the steps in order to make it safe. It's going to look
word safe is in quotes.
Ridiculous, but it looks like he's trying to at least make it safe.
He is within legal range. Yeah, no, he shouldn't be doing it.
He should. Within the realm of reasonable, he's not. Within the realm of legal, he is.
Legal being the most important part of that.
Right.
All right, so that was enough of a weird palate cleanser that lasted a lot longer than I intended.
Hey, you know what? It's Florida man. Anything's possible.
So we're going to go on, and we're going to talk. We've actually been going on for about 50 minutes now. Wow.
COPPA did take a long time.
COPPA, well, and so did that Florida man. All right, so we're going to talk about something that I saw at work the other day that it bugged the hell out of me. And I understand the purpose of statements such as what I'm about to get into. I know what their intent is, but it doesn't mean that they were clear on their idea or purpose. So here's the thing, is that I saw a thing at work that said, and once again, I work in an office where we receive inbound calls for technical issues. So you could call it a call center if that's what you want to call it. We deal with angry customers. So of course they have a little thing up there that says, keep in mind that your attitude toward others dictates their attitudes toward you. I understand the gist of it is be nice and other people will be nice in return. I understand, and I do believe that there is some truth to that.
Yes, yeah, there's some.
But on it, if we dig just below the surface, we get into the idea that, okay, so what if you're the other person who is being talked to as opposed to the one doing the talking?
You're being talked at.
You're being talked to. Well, no. Let's say the idea is that a customer calls in. If we're polite to them, they're going to be polite back. That's the gist that they're trying to convey there.
Right.
Now, what if you're the caller? Is your opinion on me going to be solely determined on how I treat you? Or is it going to be determined by your stress levels, the situation? Are you in a hurry? Are you stressed out in general? Are you hungry? Are you pissy? Are you horny and you haven't gotten it in a while?
Or was the last time you had to call in, you dealt with somebody who didn't help you? Yeah. Previous calls impact how you treat call center employees the next time you call.
Yeah.
So
the bigger point,
you may not have screwed that person's day up the last time.
Somebody else may have.
Somebody else might have.
And you're going to catch the brunt of it.
They're going to just be in a foul mood.
The point is that sometimes
you can't talk them down.
You can't talk them down. But I'm not even going there. My whole point is from a logical perspective. Follow me on this. Mm-hmm. If how person A treats person B dictates how person B treats person A. But what if you aren't person A? What if you are person B? Do you have no opinion on the situation until someone interacts with you?
No, I think
no. And if that's the case, then that means A and B are interchangeable.
Right.
And if that's the case, that means neither one of them can interact with the other because neither one of them have interacted. Because they don't know how to treat each other because neither one of them have interacted. Does that make sense? So if you go beyond just a from me to you scenario, if you look at it in reverse where you're the one being worked upon, are you just waiting around for something to happen so you can respond in kind? No.
No,
it's stupid.
It's one of those, it sounds good when you type it out. This will be a great motivational, statement.
This is what I'm going to deem.
But unfortunately, in practice, it fails.
This is what I'm going to deem philosophical bullshit.
Yes.
So follow me on this. I have scoured. I actually enjoy watching these and getting angry. I've gone through Pinterest and I found what I'm going to call philosophical bullshit. We can call them PBS. I don't care what we call them. It's philosophical garbage is what this is. These are the things that sound intelligent. Like they're so simple, but they sound genius. But they're not. They're absolutely not. They're stupid.
Yeah.
2 things prevent us from happiness: living in the past and observing others. All right, 2 points.
Yeah.
2 points on this one.
No, this does not work.
There's a thing called living in the past. That's literally being trapped in the past. That's someone who cannot let go of old times, old ways of doing things.
And it's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing. What's another way of looking at it? Nostalgia.
Now, nostalgia in small doses is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
But if you're the person that in 2019 has decorated their house in all 70s, you're taking nostalgia too far. Nostalgia.
Or you're a hippie.
Yeah, well, yes. But nostalgia, small doses, good. Nostalgia, big doses, bad.
Once again, if you hear me sniffle or snort, I apologize. Since we're recording this on one microphone, Julian's going to have a much harder time editing those out. I've still got allergies, so sniff, snort, Bjort.
Because apparently allergies just hate him.
My face is a fuck toy, and they use it constantly. Okay,
that's a statement that's going to come back to haunt you.
Well, they being allergies, I just want to make that clear.
I know, but
doesn't matter. Take that out of context. Use that as a meme. I don't care. So make me famous. So now that's nostalgia. Okay, that's nostalgia. That can be living in the past. Right. You still like that stuff.
Yeah.
Now observing others. Now hold on a second. Isn't most of what entertainment is observing others?
Yeah.
Aren't you technically, by listening to this right now, observing others?
Yes.
We are hopefully entertaining you to some degree.
I would like to.
We're keeping your mind occupied, maybe, with the dumb words that are flying out of our cake holes. You know,
we're not wrong with that accurate description. So.
Our vocal orify. So
word holes.
I was trying to say word holes in a different way. Vocal orify. Vocabulary spewers. Okay. So the thing is that that's what most of entertainment is.
Yeah.
That's why reality TV, God, I hate it, still exists. Because we watch other people. So no, that's a dumb thing from the word go. This one I might possibly rage at. So if you hear the mic
buckle up, children, it might get fun.
If you hear it peaking, turn down the volume. Don't think about what can happen in a month. Don't think about what can happen in a year. Just focus on the 24 hours in front of you and do what you can to get closer to where you want to be. Question. If you're only focusing on 24 hours at a time, that's it. Literally, that's what it's advising. Am I correct?
No, you are spot on that.
If it's advising to only look 24 hours in advance at a given time, how do you know where you're going? What are you working for?
You can't plan shit.
What are you planning to move toward in each 24-hour interim?
Obviously. Interim.
Yeah. There you go. I couldn't.
A 24-hour period. That's rather short-sighted, actually. If you're only, if you want to, basically living in the little bit longer than a moment. That's it. You're living in the moment.
So you can't plan. If you can't think about where you want to be in a week, in a month, in a year, then you're not working toward anything. You're just existing.
What kind of goal is 24 hours from now?
I don't know. You could level up a World of Warcraft character.
Dear God.
Those are very short goals. That's not the point. We're talking adult-sized goals.
Right. There is no adult-sized goal that is in 24 hours from now.
Unless you've been working on it for a while and you're about to achieve it.
But according to this life outlook, you should only look 24 hours in the future, which precludes anything remotely approaching a long-term goal.
That sounds...
It sounds
intelligent.
Sounds beautiful.
Don't worry about the long term. Just take care of the now.
Yes.
No! Worry about both of them.
Yes.
Shit's getting real. Things are about to explode. You don't have any money in the bank. You're about to starve. Your child's crying again.
If you have a kid. If you're subsisting solely on ramen, you do not need to live 24 hours at a time.
You need to start planning well in advance.
Yes.
Sometimes 2, 3, 6 months in advance, start working towards something. Start bettering your life. All right, another one. Moving on. I didn't rage nearly as much as I thought I would. I got my point across without yelling.
Maybe.
Am I maturing? Fuck you too. A secret to happiness is letting every situation be what it is instead of what you think it should be. All right. First example.
No, fuck that. No.
First example that comes to mind. I don't have children yet. I do not have children yet. But my first thought, and this is the way my brain thinks, is if you give me any kind of statement that is like it sounds factual, the first thing my brain jumps to is an example that proves that wrong.
Yeah, you have done that shit to me so many times.
I have consisted of this logical thinking for decades. Because when someone goes, well, all you got to do is this. And I go, that's fucking stupid. Here's the 18 reasons why. This is why this is stupid.
Yes.
They are saying, I'm going to read it again.
God.
A secret to happiness is letting every situation be what it is instead of what you think it should be. No, sometimes going with the flow is fine.
Yes. Sometimes,
say in an example that might be considered extreme by some. But if I had a kid and my kid got kidnapped, I'm not going to just go with the flow and be like, oh, well,
Later, Timmy.
Little Jacqueline's not in her crib. She's not in her bed. No. You know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be thinking a hell of a lot about how it should be, because the little kid should be at home sleeping and I should be getting it on with her mom.
Well, it's not even that. That statement covers all sorts of things.
Oh, God, I broke my leg.
Oh, well.
Oh, I gotta go. I can't play soccer. Guess I go to the hospital. I got shot. Oh, I sure wish this wasn't happening. Oh, I can't focus on that.
Exactly.
No, you respond in an emergency because you know it shouldn't be happening and you don't want it to be happening anymore.
Even at the basic level, that is saying, okay, so say you have a trip planned, you've spent thousands of dollars, and you go somewhere expecting to have a good time. And you get there, the place that you're supposed to stay in is a shithole and not the hotel that it was described as. Somebody has stolen all of your money, and nothing turns out right. You're supposed to look at it and just go, oh well. It's still a great trip.
I can't think about how I wish that didn't happen. I wish things weren't so shitty.
Exactly. That's bullshit. Oh, well, the trip went to hell and I lost thousands of dollars and it didn't turn out how it was supposed to and I didn't have a good time. I should just move on. No, that's going to stick with you and going to make you a little more wary next time you do something like that. It's called a learning experience.
I agree. And we're going to move on.
All right.
Distance doesn't separate people. Silence does. Do you know what often causes silence?
Distance.
It's hard
if
to
you're
hear.
Far enough apart, you can't hear each other.
Even with phones and stuff. Here's the thing. Distance doesn't separate people. Yes, it does. Because a lot of our communication is done firsthand.
Well, that's actually the definition of distance is separation. So.
Distance doesn't separate people. Yeah, actually it does. But you see those two people over there? They're separated by about a foot.
That's right a distance.
There. See those two people humping? They're separated by
on average about 4
microcosms. They're separated by a goo between them right now. That is what is separating them.
Sorry, I got a little.
They have not fused together, so they're technically separated by something.
I got a little pedantic on that one, but still, that's the crux of the issue with me. How about you?
But a lot of our communication is physical. It's expressions we make with our hands or our face. It's physical
reading
expressions.
Faces, reading body language.
Spending time with someone in person, it feels, for lack of a better phrase, more personal and more of a connection than somebody you talk to on the phone or on Skype or something a lot.
There's people with a disorder called Asperger's that they can't pick up on body language or facial cues or anything like that. It makes life hell. So that's a problem. That statement, full of shit.
So I think we've made our point on that one.
Exactly.
All right, we got a couple more. I'm going to pick out my favorites real quick.
All right.
It's not about being the best. It's about being better than you were yesterday.
Oh, fuck off. That's a motivational speech or a...
That's a motivational
That's
poster.
A participation trophy statement.
Let me put it this way. I'm pretty sure something called the Olympics were based on the best.
Yes.
That's why we have championships and tournaments. It's to find out who the best is.
Yeah.
The whole point.
Not the whole team gets a fucking
no champion
trophy.
No champion in life. No one. No one from Muhammad Ali to Mike Tyson to anybody, pick an athlete who is a star, has ever said, what do they always say? They say, I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm the best that will ever be. They never said, I'm better than I was yesterday.
Or I'm second best.
No, they always take massive pride in being the one everybody has to chase.
Exactly. You want to be in the lead, not second.
Yeah. And I don't even like the phrase second is the first loser. But when it comes to champions, it is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you come into second, even by a fraction of whatever the score or measurement is, to a champion, they might as well be dead last because they didn't take the gold. They weren't the one that everybody was going, you destroy the rest of your competition.
Exactly.
That's what that is. So yeah, no. if you're better than you were yesterday. Well, good job there, Buttercup. When are you going to be on the top of the ladder? You don't know. You're not shooting for it? Why the fuck are you trying? You know, and before anybody throws that back on me.
No, wait, nobody strives for mediocrity.
Oh, there's a lot of people strive for mediocrity.
Really? No, there's a lot of people that end up in mediocrity.
Find themselves in mediocrity.
Yes.
But they never really strive. I agree with that.
You don't actively strive to be mediocre. You end up being mediocre. You strive for greatness, and eventually at some point either the task at hand forces you into mediocrity or you give up and just settle in mediocrity.
Yep.
That's how you get there.
I agree. And that's why these things are so stupid to me.
But they sound beautiful. They're great motivational speeches until you actually think about them. They're motivational phrases, not speeches. Those are two different things. English, it is the hard.
If you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. No,
I just earned enough money to fucking buy it.
I've never owned a BMW. I bet if I save my money, I can own one.
Don't be a pretentious asshole.
I just used it as an example.
Sorry, BMWs come with baggage.
Like your emotional one? Holy shit.
I like cars. So, yes, BMW drivers are branded as douches.
Don't cry over the past. It's gone. Don't stress about the future. It hasn't arrived. Live in the present and make it beautiful. Let me put something this way. I'm going to contradict that with a phrase that I have told Hack many times.
Oh, God.
All right. There's a phrase that is supposedly attributed to Confucius that basically says, if you want to know why you are where you are, look toward your past, the actions that have led you to being here.
Yeah.
If you want to know where you're going, look to your current actions. In other words, if you want to define why you are where you are, it's a culmination of everything you did in your past and everything that has been done to you.
Yeah.
If you want to know where you're going in the future and what you can do to manage that, look at your current actions. If I wanted to be the CEO of a company, but I sleep until noon and eat nothing but junk food and don't plan for anything in my life, are my goals ever going to come to fruition?
Oh, hell no.
No, every day is going to run together.
Don't forget, you're supposed to only look 24 hours in the future.
Well, that's stupid, and we've already pointed that out.
I know.
So no, the future hasn't arrived.
No.
You should, to some degree, be concerned and occupied with that.
Exactly.
Because you should always be striving to arrive at something. Better yourself. Try things that you've always wanted to try, but have never had the guts to do so.
Right.
And I'm not talking about threesomes or butt stuff.
I was going to go with, unless it's an irrational fear that you struggle to get control of, like heights for me. So, you know.
Or go skydiving and quit being a bitch.
No.
I will wrestle a shark if you jump out of a plane.
Then you're staying on dry land because it's not fucking happening.
I will pay you $5,000 to jump out of a plane.
Nope.
Cash.
Nope.
Cash monies.
Nope.
I will pay you $10,000.
Won't do it.
I bet you if I had $10,000 in a briefcase showing you right now, you'd be at least thinking about it.
No. I don't think I would be able to get on the plane. And the amount of drugs it would take me to get on that plane preclude me from being able to jump out of said plane.
You'd be tandem.
Without dying.
You'd be tandem.
They wouldn't legally let me do it. Hey, he's super drugged up. They're not letting me jump. That's the only way it's happening.
They will if I pay them.
That's a lot of bribery that we're admitting to on recording.
We're not admitting to anything because you're not going to do it.
Exactly. I'm not jumping out of a plane.
Chicken shit.
Yes, in this regard, I am.
You only fail when you stop trying. Or if there's a time limit.
I mean, yeah, time.
You can fail a test.
Exactly.
That's actually a lot of people fail tests.
Exactly.
You pass or fail. That's the thing. You don't only fail when you stop trying. No, sometimes you just fail. Sometimes you're not good enough.
Or you're not prepared.
Very true.
There are a lot of reasons to fail. It's not because you gave up exclusively. Now, that's not to say that you can't fail because you stopped trying.
But so essentially, a lot of what we're doing right now is just pointing out why these pseudo statements, these pseudo sort of motivational things aren't actually that intelligent. They're not that deep. They're not that smart.
They are face value statements, and that's it.
Yes, and if you even so much as accidentally kick up some dirt over top of these things, you've already blown it out of the water. It's fragile. It's frail. Okay, we're going to leave you with this last one. This one actually comes from the Dalai Lama, for those of you who give a shit. What is love? Love is the absence of judgment. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean out and say no. Depending on how you how you define judgment, it could have some truth to it. But here's my statement. You judge everybody.
You do.
You judge everybody to a
Subconsciously.
positive or negative degree.
Exactly.
You judge a person as being worth your time. You judge a person as being someone you want to spend time with, not spend time with. You judge the way a person talks, the way a person sounds, the way a person sniffles, laughs, cries, pees. You judge people based. Look, I'm not gonna get into that last one. You're going to judge people.
I don't want to even
based on what you perceive as normal, interesting, disgusting, turn-offs,
human interaction
turn-ons.
is based on perception.
Yes. And it doesn't even matter if your perception is true or not. Your perception is the reality upon which you react to.
And what I
mean by that is, if I'd said that my friend Hack is 6'2" and black.
So,
thank you. If I said my friend Hack is 6'2" and black, that doesn't mean he is. But if some of you out there were to believe that he is, based on I don't know whatever you believe a 6'2" tall black guy sounds like, if he sounds like a middle-aged white guy who likes trains and Legos, well then you know what? That's your business. Sorry, the mic didn't pick that up.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a fuck you. There's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't say there was. I just merely described you. Yeah. But the point is that if you believe he is, you may act or behave differently.
True.
Technically, that's a form of racism. So this is a bad example. By treating anyone differently than you would treat anybody else based on the color of their skin, either positive or negative, that is technically
maybe
racism.
Just like 6'2" guys.
Sure, they may really like BBC too. I don't know what to tell you. So here's the thing. If you believe that someone has been mean to you, but you didn't understand their body language, maybe they weren't actually trying to be mean to you. Maybe they were nervous and they didn't know how to express themselves, but you perceive them as being mean, you're going to treat them under the belief that they were mean. You're going to treat them differently under the belief that they were mean to you, as opposed to understanding implicitly that maybe they were just nervous.
Right.
Even though the reality in this little scenario is that person was nervous for whatever reason.
Oh, no, I completely understand. Nervous is kind of...
I know, I'm speaking to the audience.
Yeah.
So the person was nervous, but because you thought they were mean, you're not going to treat them like you would somebody who you realized was nervous. You're going to treat them as someone who you thought were mean to you.
Sure.
Probably a little more callous, a little bit more cautious around them.
Yeah.
But that's the reality in which you're operating under. It's not the truth, but it's the reality that you're operating under.
Yeah.
So when people say things like, you shouldn't judge people, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this as politely as I possibly can. You're wrong. Judge constantly, because that's what you're going to do anyway. And not all judgments are bad. You judge people to be cute or funny or entertaining or a good friend, or there's lots of judgments that are actually positive.
Yeah.
But when you judge someone as being not as good as you, a piece of shit, someone is, not worthy of your time, or whatever, sort of generic, whatever, over the top, I'm better than you sort of statements.
Yeah.
That's when we get into sort of the biblical judgment, where they talk about only the Lord has the right to judge people's sins and stuff like that. Because we are all messed up in one way or another. Every single one of us. There's not a person on this planet that isn't messed up in some way.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's got baggage.
And some of us have lots more than others. And the ones that don't used to, and they've merely gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
So on the Dalai Lama one where it says, what is love? Love is the absence of judgment. I'm going to say this. And this gets a little bit more personal, but hopefully we can find a good spot for this one. I love my wife. I went 30 years. A lot of people get married much earlier than I did. People that are looking to get married. I look to get married as early as possible. And I tried to force some relationships to be marriage material, and I made mistakes along the way. I love my wife. My wife is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm not even like, other people look at her and go, how the fuck did you get her? And I go,
I'm one of those people.
I don't know how I got her. She thinks I'm funny. And one time I tickled her until she farted. And that's what solidified our relationship.
And now she's going to kill you.
No, she won't. We tell her family this all the time. It's fine. So, I mean, the thing is that do I know, as much as I absolutely adore my wife, and I do truly love my wife because she is a miracle and a half, that I honestly, enough pondering to my wife's majesty. Okay. Yeah. My wife has flaws. There. I'm going to jump into that. My wife has flaws, and I can say that with an honest description because I know she's human. She's forgetful occasionally, not often, but she's forgetful occasionally. She has been known to be lazy every once in a while. She's a little lazy. I'll be honest. But then again, I also take the gold on that category. So it's pot calling the kettle occasionally, a little darker. But the point I'm making is that, yes, do I judge her on those things? Yes. I don't hate her for it.
No.
I don't hate her for any of the things. She has yet to do anything that I can define as hate, that made me feel anything that I would define as hate. She has yet to do any of those things, and I pray that we never come to that point. But the point is, I love my wife, and when I have children, I'll love them unconditionally as well. I'll love them. I don't love my wife unconditionally. I'll say that right now. I love my wife a lot, but if she cheated on me, that's a conditional. No other dicks, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
adultery is a bit of one of those deal breakers.
Kind of, yeah, typically. I would say so.
Yeah. It's usually an across the board deal breaker.
Most of the time, some people film it. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you can judge people. You can be wholly aware of their flaws.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's healthy and advisable to be aware of their flaws. Mm-hmm. But it's not the absence of judgment. It's the judgment that says, I know you have these, and I'm going to work with you on these problems. Yeah. If they're actually problems, let's be honest. If it's a personality quirk that just kind of irritates you, get over it.
Yeah.
That's who they are. Get over yourself. But if it's like a constant problem that they complain about themselves, yeah, they may need some help on working on that. So I say this. The Dalai Lama is wrong. Love isn't the absence of judgment. Love is judgment with the choice to continue loving.
Yeah.
You still love that person despite their flaws.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't acknowledge their flaws, you're building them up on a pedestal that is just going to come crashing down. You have to be realistic on it.
Love them despite their flaws.
Yes.
And to work with them.
The only way you notice that they have flaws is if you judge them.
Exactly.
All right. So that was a bit of we went from COPPA to Florida Man to angry stuff to me kind of getting a little bit more, this is probably the most in touch and personal part I've ever done to any of these. And this was not planned right here, not planned. So
it worked out.
But hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. It's not the absence of judgment that makes you care for somebody. It's judging them and then still realizing that you want them in your life. That's love.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. Lust is a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Lust is an involuntary reaction.
Yep.
That's why I've been confused sometimes. Because the online scene is weird, and I'm not even going to get into that. So remember, everybody out there has flaws. Nobody is perfect. We're all striving, hopefully, to be better. Exactly. And if not, then you're stagnant or you're a giant piece of shit. That's not the point. Yeah. All right. So hopefully we've educated you a little bit with the COPPA. Do check out the description down there and check out that stuff.
Make your own opinion. Look it up.
Please.
It is not something to be ignored or it doesn't affect me. It could.
It very well could. And remember, don't take anything that we said at face value.
Yeah. Do your own research.
Please do your own research. The amount of research that we did was listening to other people.
And I am no expert. So
neither am I. So please do your own research, form your own opinion based on the stuff that we've talked about today. And so yeah, and as far as that Florida man shooting stuff downrange, holy crap. Remember, don't take things at face value. Dig a little deeper. Yeah. You're going to find some bullshit underneath sometimes, like these motivational speakers. These demotivational stuff.
Motivational phrases.
That was not even that clever, but you look really proud of that.
No, it was just
anyway. So yeah, these BS psychological. Oh, look how smart I am. Oh no, usually they're not. No. But take this love. It's not a thing. When it comes around, it's rare. When it's real love, it's rare. But don't be fooled into thinking someone's perfect, no matter how awesome they may seem.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Flaws.
Everybody does. So
you just got to enjoy their flaws.
We've brought down the tone just a wee bit from our normal ranting and raving. But you know what? We hope you guys pulled away some education on COPPA, some laughs out of the Florida man, and maybe some laughs out of this or some gasping WTFs. But hopefully at the very end, we also kind of made you think a little bit too.
And still entertained.
Entertained. That's the big one. We can sit up here and say pee-pee poo-poo jokes all the time. But if we can't make you giggle.
Yeah. Send us stuff if you want to hear us talking about it or rant about it, please. Shoot Rival a message on his Twitter.
Or send it to the email I'm going to be making up specifically for this purpose. Check down the link in the description. I don't even know what the name of it is yet. So look down there. So I literally haven't even made it yet. Thumbs up to that, bro. Yay! So, all right, guys. If you want to send us something, send us an email.
Yeah.
Over at...
Shoot us a suggestion. English. Sorry.
Yeah, if you have an interesting topic you would like us to cover, please do that. Hopefully, you remember... oh, God. I was going to say, don't make it too horrible like Epstein.
No, come on.
Like we could talk about Epstein.
Look, topic off limit for me. I'll rant about pretty much anything. Remember, I'm only a fill-in. Julian has to understand it, and he sometimes gets confused by topics.
That's the love, is that we're able to explain it to him and the audience at the same time. That's why it works.
That is so entertaining.
It is.
It really is.
All right, so guys, guys and gals, note me to exclude any of you lady bits out there. How am I sexist?
Because you said guys, and then you said ladies, and I had already started talking, so.
Good call. So we hope all of you whammons and gentle whammons out there can enjoy this. We hope to see you next week. And as always, stay awesome, friends.
Later on.